Hey guys, early bird here. I'm just kind of gonna do a video. I'm kind of fixing up some rods. I got 4 rods I'm gonna get ready to use for tomorrow. Wait one second, let me close this door. I'll leave it, whatever. So today I kind of like I had one of my leaders get tore up. I always use it's a stainless steel cleated on 50-pound test. So the reason I always use it is like this. Like this happened today. Not even a big fish, but it'll actually, I don't know if it's gonna focus, but it'll tear and it'll break the wire out. So every so often I just gotta replace those. I took out shiners today, and then I took out platies, my normal kind of like minnow type fish that I like to fish with. And everything just hit on the platies today. So one of the things I wanted to do is I'm going to set up 2 medium light rods with 2 of the same bobbers, and then I'm going to use some of the probably, I don't even know what size these are. I just have a box, but either that size or that size. So like a really tiny hook is what I'm going to put on this. So it's going to be like a light setup, so that what I can do tomorrow is I'm going to compare. I'm going to run these 2 light poles. The Crazy combo is running 10-pound test. I think it should be fine. And then my Abu Garcia Cardinal is running 50-pound test, but that should be even enough on this. But then besides these 2, I'm also going to run my Akuma Fin Chaser, and then the Giltendale Salt. Both of those are running 50-pound test, and like I said, I'm going to run braided leader on all of them. That's one of the things I was doing right now is I have some brand new leaders. I order them in bulk, so I'll get them and I'll kind of roll them up like a cable, and then they stay good. Like they don't end up like awfully bent. So even when a fish is pulling on it, it's not really gonna matter. I've never had the problem of fish, I guess, like not seeing it, but I guess I don't know because I just catch fish on them. But that is one of the things that I've always done, just because I know how fish are here, and they like to take your stuff into like weeds and rocks and try to break off the line. So that kind of helps, and that's why that one probably got tore up, was getting twisted up on like a rock or a stick or something like that. But one of the ways I actually attach these leaders is they already have a swivel on the end, and what I'll do is I'll do like a loop on the end of my line. So then all I do for quick change is, and this line is actually getting really frayed out and flattened. It kind of looks like a green used tooth floss at this point. It needs to be repaired. I need to switch it out. I do have a whole new roll of line that I need to replace it with. So, but one of the things I'll do is I'll just kind of push that through that little loop. Once it's through the loop, it'll open that loop up, and then slide everything through. And then when I pull it tight, I don't let it form like a perfect lark head knot. What I do is I kind of cinch it so it holds the bottom of that little ring, so it's not all the way up at the top, so it's not, so then if I need to undo it, all I do is just push it back through that loop and it opens up. People can say what they want. I have never lost a fish on one of these leaders. The only way I've ever broken off is probably cutting it. and I've never really had that problem. It's like this thing will uproot a tree out of the water. So on the heavy poles, I'm going to be running big red circle hooks. We're going to be running shiners on these. Since I didn't really get to use them a lot today, I'm going to hook these up for these. Let me hook this down here so it... Just going to hook it. And just tighten that up just so that holds right now. Set that one there. This other one needs another big red circle hook. Man, that is... Yeah, there's not really too much room for error for them to really get off on these. That one's a little tight. But it really makes a world of a difference, especially like where I'm fishing at. We know there's gar, we know there's a ton of other stuff. So we really don't want them breaking it off, especially because if you guys have heard me in my lives, and I guess I might have said something in some of my shorts, but yeah, we don't throw back bowfin here. So especially when we get those on, we don't want them back in the water. Yeah, because especially our town lake is absolutely infested. And it was probably about 10 years ago that it was decent to fish in. Now it's just kind of like bowfin valley. It's not really fun to fish for anymore. Like, you can't get anything that's decent worth eating out of there because it's just a ton of bowfin. So yeah, they've kind of... We're trying to keep our little close little honey hole we have here nice and bowfin free. So as we get them in here, we like to make sure we dispatch of them correctly so we have a nice fish population. Alright, so this one's already set up, and you see it's a very tiny hook. Hook that one in. That one is ready. Now for my wife's. Hers is actually hide, because last time I was in a rush and I did not have time because I had poles going down. If you guys see the videos, you guys know when it happens, it happens. So I cut that one off. Like I said, I just get this whatever it is off of there. Essentially, I'm gonna make a loop and then just take it like I'm making a regular knot. And just take that end of that loop, hook it back through, and then what you're gonna end up with is nice little hole here on your line. You end up with a nice little hole, and you end up with a tag. You want to keep that tag, and what you're going to do is you're going to take it, and you're gonna essentially wrap around your line a couple times, just so you make a nice good knot. And you're going to cinch it down, and then once that's cinched down, this little pick tool, I will take it and pull it until it kind of cinches down on that little knot we just made. And I do not have a lighter on me, but that's one of the benefits with the braid is you can kind of just burn it back to kind of get rid of that extra tag. But the main thing is that you can do that little quick loop I was talking about, where you just feed it through the top loop of your swivel, pull it down. You're gonna get the end of your leader, and then you're just gonna feed it through the end of that little loop. Just feed it right through. It doesn't really matter which way it goes because the way that this works does not care. So like I said, you don't want it at the top of that swivel. You want it to kind of hook around the bottom so it kind of makes like a V to it. And I've noticed when you're pulling it in, it actually kind of makes like a little cavitation in the water. So I don't know if that helped. Is part of the reason that that it works, that I'm doing that. But yeah, it catches the fish repeatedly, and I don't have really have problems on hookups. Like I don't know if you guys saw it today, but had 2 perch and a catfish on these little tiny hooks, and it's like the swivel, not the swivel, but the clip is probably about the same thickness as what the hook is. So it gives it a little bit of room to easy swivel on, but once that fish takes it, it doesn't have a chance of really getting off of it, especially because once it slips back a little bit, it doesn't take much of those little tiny fish to really get on. They'll really like push through the fish and catch into their lip. But yeah, these little tiny hooks, all of the big catfish I've caught have been on these. But I'm going to run those 2 big hooks and I'm going to run the 2 small hooks tomorrow so I can see which one is really going to hook up the fish the best. But yeah, we're going to see. But I'm going to set up the 2 light poles the exact same. I'm going to set up the 2 heavy poles, or the heavy medium poles, the exact same, so that it'll be a fair choice between which one is going to be better. Is it the big hook, big fish catches more fish, or is it small hook, small fish catches more fish? It's going to be a good thing to kind of check out. I'm going to run 2 bobbers that have the same buoyancy for the big ones. And then I'm going to run 2 of the same bobbers for the lights. But like I said, the only difference is going to be that we're going to be running big hooks with shiners and little hooks with platies. And that's what we're going to compare tomorrow. I actually need to cut down some more of the poles for pole holders because I just make them instead of buying them. So yeah, I got to go get those done. My neighbors are going to hate me. It's definitely past 12 already. But they can deal with it. That's why I live in the country. So let me go ahead and get this. For depth, I'm running about 24, 28 inches below surface of the water. When I hook up my bobbers, also one of the things I do is I will I go around the bottom of my bobber twice so that I can make sure that it's not going to slip off, because that does occasionally happen, that you'll get a little bit of bobber slip. But when you loop around that bottom, typically helps keep it in place, because it's nice when you can keep it a nice consistent distance below that water. which is one of my things. I like slip corks, and in some situations they're good, but sometimes they're just not the best. Alrighty. So this pole is ready to go. Let's try to get out early in the morning. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a live stream. Just because it had the issue today, I might just do a video like this and post it, because I know that that's going to go through, and at least I have a solid hold on that, so then at least I can make sure the video gets out to you guys. And that's another thing. All the catfish and stuff I've caught, I have not caught on the bottom. Definitely not on the bottom. They are that area that I've been doing a lot of the fishing recently in is 8 or 9 feet deep. So I definitely know that there are no fish that I've been catching that are on the bottom. And especially that right in front of where I'm actually fishing, it drops off significantly. Alrighty. Alright, so the 2 light poles are set up. The hooks are both on the bottom eyelets, and our bobbers are at the same height. So these are pretty much exactly the same, besides this being 10-pound test and this being a 50-pound test. But I have not seen a difference yet. I actually should probably put a little bit of weight on those, actually. Not a lot, because I do not want you know what, I'm going to leave. Actually, I might put some of these little split shots on there, just to kind of keep it a little more even when I am casting. Okay. Got one little split shot on there. And that's the one thing with these weighted bobbers. You don't want to put too much weight under them because it will sink them quick. Which is kind of good if, depending on it, because Buddy Mine does use these weighted bobbers to verify where he casts into, because he knows that they're going to sink. But he knows that they're going to slink pretty slowly. Oop, that might be a little overdone. Whatever, it'll be okay. He knows that they're going to sink slowly. So what he'll do is he'll cast out and he'll watch it sink into where he's going, because they're so bright that you can typically see them even in really dark tannic water. You can see them. Also, tomorrow I'm going to bring the heavy bobber. So if I catch a big pan, like a big crappie or bluegill or something like that, I might take that, throw it on a red hook, or one of these big bait hooks. Could put it on one of these big offset bait hooks, and run that too. See if I'm just missing something. because I seem to have the best luck on smaller. Gets the bigger fish out here. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't seem like the bigger fish gets the bigger, I mean the bigger bait gets the bigger fish out here. But we will see. I'm going to so for these big heavy poles, because I'm going to be running such a heavy bait, I'm going to run the same depth. Or roughly the same depth. And then I'm gonna leave it weightless, because with me running this braid, it's already gonna float, but the fish on the end of the hook is gonna be where it's really gonna give you my casting distance. And you don't want to overweight something that you're casting out. This is like a bluegill, they can handle it, because it can rip out of the fish. You just want the weight of the fish to be enough to take the fish out of it. So that one's set. Big red hook, stainless leader, bobber. Yeah, this line on this one is about 6 or 7 years old. So it's kind of coming up on the end of its life. It's 50-pound braid, spider wider, I believe. But yeah, like I said earlier, it's getting like kind of nasty. It's getting fluffy, not great, but it still holds, and then it still comes down to a nice thin. But we'll see if that makes a difference on tomorrow. We're gonna get this. That one's double loops. Double loops. Alrighty. And those are the same height too. So as far as that goes, these poles are all ready for tomorrow. I can load these in. Only thing I need to do in the morning is pull bait from the tank, put it in the car. And I should be off. I'm really gonna see if I feel like I should do a live stream, because what I can do is I can just video it and then edit stuff out. I feel like that might be the best way to do it. But I am going to make sure to upload tomorrow. I just wanted you guys to see what I was doing. I'm gonna do apples, like I said, we're gonna do light with small rigging. We're essentially doing small pole, small rigging, big pole, big rigging. Big pole catch you bigger fish, does it? Or is it smaller pole that catches you bigger fish? It just depends. Like I said, this area is about 9 feet deep. There are a lot of really big fish in there. I just say kid pulled out, he said it was a 10-pound pike, packerel, chain packerel. They're in the pike family. They look like pike. They're pike. He pulled out a 10-pound yesterday. So with that, I'm gonna see if there's a difference. And he pulled that out on one of those little tiny hooks, because they didn't have any hooks, and I gave him one. So guys, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share it with all your friends. Make sure to watch these videos. I'm trying to show you guys how easy it can be to catch these fish. All right, y'all. Have a good one. I appreciate it.